Hello Forza fans! The 1983 VW Golf GTI is my track weapon for featured multiplayer this week, and we start the action here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Starting in 4th, the action gets underway for the first of 3 races that get progressively more tensely fought. All seems clean so far as we come off the banking and make our way through the first couple of turns. Everything's looking good, and I'm just about to settle into this race to try and tackle the top 3 when suddenly I get a collision and 2 cars just completely cut across the front of me. I decide not to really take that kind of crap and floor it across the grass, rejoin just in time not to cut across onto the racing line, but I do get a collision from behind anyway and a 0.8 second penalty for my trouble, even though I was forced off track. It'll be a little bit of a battle from here, down from 4th to 7th. We're still pretty closely grouped as I get another collision from behind. I don't know if I really just washed out a little wide on that corner or I was just lacking a bit of momentum on the exit. As we go into lap 2, Neutrino 884 loses momentum onto the banking and I get a run on them. They do actually continue fighting there down my right hand side, just tuck in behind. I take the tight line, stay on the inside, and they are just battling, as you can see from the arrow behind me. I sort of go out wide to take this corner and they have gone back up the inside. Fantastic little battle, to be honest. I make sure not to stick it down the inside there, which would have been a bit foolish. And now we are in a nice little group of 4 cars fighting for that 4th position that I lost in the first place. I get a great run. Don't know if I just shifted gears a little later, but it slowed down nicely on the apex. Get turned into. Again, that's a Forza staple, but not to worry, no harm done. There is a bit of door banging and so on. You can expect that in such a slow speed racing series, to be honest, where momentum is so important. You're going to be fighting tightly in corners and brushing up against each other. It's not an out-and-out punt or anything like that. And once again, Neutrino in the red VW gets down my inside. I get a decent run again out of the corner, but nothing was coming from that. And in fact, it's me who is slow onto the banking the next time around as we go to start lap 3. And D-Man 2 gets the better of me. I don't know if they've ever watched a Forza race before, but they were very brave there, tucking in front of me. But they go for the inside line move on Neutrino. Again, they just brush doors, but you can't really say there's any harm there. And I am down in 8th. Neutrino retakes 6th position. They touch. That one was a little bit more contentious. I managed to squeeze myself down the inside there on the curbing, back up into 7th place. Once again, I get a great run here. I go for the inside. Screech the tyres a little bit, but don't overrun the corner. It registers a collision, but I don't really feel anything. So I just make sure to keep it tight on the inside here so I don't wash out into the car that is clearly on my left-hand side. However, looking at my mirrors, which I only just caught a glimpse of, I was going to move across to the far right of the track there, but D-Man had actually got an almighty run and had bravely gone down that route. I get a collision from behind from Neutrino again into the corner. I don't know if they just braked a little late. I don't think I did anything wrong there. And now, as we go towards the end of lap 3, Neutrino once again gets around me into the chicane as we go onto the banking. I try and take a shallow line, just dink into the back of their car. As you enter the banking, it does tend to pull your car upwards, even though I was steering left. So we go side by side into the first turn as we come back off the banking again. Look at that on my right. They are nice and close. I got a warning from my original contact. I kept that pretty tight and didn't go out wide, trying to leave them a car's width on the outside. But again, we come together. But I don't really know how bad that collision is without the benefit of a replay. I think it's just door banging and no real harm done, and we're just tussling. As we come across the line then, I have stayed in 7th, so I lose 3 positions in the first race. But not too bad. Oh, actually, I had a penalty, so I am dropped down to 8th place overall. Not to be defeated that easily, we head to Road America for an absolute cracker, and I've switched back to hood cam as it's pretty clear I'm going to need full visibility in this series. Starting near the front, we get going from 4th again. I tuck in behind Stein im Weg, which is German for stone in the way. So are there going to be a stone in my way? I'm not sure. It's going to be important to get the braking zone right here, and we brake around the 2 marker, maybe a bit after. You can carry quite a lot of speed through. I get on the rumble strip, stone im Weg. Oh, just misses me. Look at that in the mirror. I get away with that big time, but I am down to 4th because I lost out to Le Nostalgique in the process. They go in, just scrape the back of the car in front, and I get a little deep as we get to the bottom of the straight. I get overtaken by 2 cars, screech the tyres a little, still get it stopped, but in my haste go down to 2nd by mistake, so hit the rev limiter pretty hard. Don't get much momentum, go back into 3rd, but get a great run out of here. And Bengen 3830 is my first victim as I make my way back up the positions. I look like I've got a good run on Kanita, and into the first corner I screech the tyres heavily, get a bit of a wobble, but actually hold it. So that was pretty gutsy from them to clearly be late on the brakes, and pretty gutsy from me too. It all stays clean, and we are happily through back into 4th, which is our starting position. However, I do my 2nd gear trick once again, and by the end of the straight, yep, I've lost out. I brake a little later, but I just can't hold them off. They keep it clean though, we stay off the grass, which would be pretty catastrophic at this speed, and I get a good run out of the corner again. I have to slightly lift for Kanita so that I don't run into the back of them, but I get a much better run. And now I'm on the hunt for 4th place once again. But you can see this group of 2nd, 3rd, 4th is all together now, and I am joining the party too. I decide, because you don't get an off track here, but it is very bumpy and you can get your car thrown off quite easily, but I stay committed on the outside. Don't have the inside line. There's some contacts around me, but not for me. And I took the corner a little slower to start, but a great exit once again. As we go up to car level 12, I am catching the possible podium positions. So at the end of the straight, I'm on the inside. I break it down. Look at that. Le Nostalgique absolutely taking no prisoners with that. Sweeping across the nose of my car. And we survive in 4th place. But man, that was close, wasn't it? As we get to the end for the first corner, we're now on lap 4. Le Nostalgique close, but I sort of ease off and end up losing a position. R5 rules did clatter into me a little bit, but this has been a fantastic race with lots of door banging, lots of position changes, lots of slipstreaming. So really nothing to complain about at this point. We're nearly 4 wide at the end of lap 4. Again, I stay committed. I get a collision from Klimpen, who then knocks into me again, takes my position. I go down into 2nd gear briefly, but still get a good exit and just sweep round Bengen up into 5th. So I've been taking all sorts of positions here. I can barely keep track of what position I'm in myself. We've dropped the 1 position from the start, and as you'll see now, we've just taken 4th because the race leader pulled into the pits and I think left the race. So this is now the battle for the lead. R5 rules goes off, rejoins the track a little bit out of control, and I take that position. So we're now in a podium position for 3rd. This has been an absolutely breathless race, but this layout of Road America really is like that, isn't it? I think that I'm going to get a run, but ooh, I'm slowed down. Klimpen, I think, clips Le Nostalgique in 1st place and tries to sweep out from behind them, but I am already there. So that means I lose out to R5 rules again. So I'm back into 4th position, which is my starting point. Doesn't feel too bad, but I really think I've got a chance of winning this race. Contact there for the leader, and I take 3rd position again as they struggle but rejoin the track right behind me, so there will be no let up here whatsoever. As we come into turn 1, they're out for revenge, hurl it down the inside of me. I basically prop them up and stop them from spinning, but that in the process holds me up. And now as we're on lap 6 of 6, it looks like even with the penalties ahead, I'm going to have dropped back too far. I get collided with in the side as I go for a clean move on the inside, take to the grass, so it loses me a bit of momentum. And as we go down to the end of the race, the end of this final flat out straight, what is going to happen? I get it break down. Oh, the front of my car gets clipped once again. They get a penalty for that, actually, which seems, I guess, kind of fair because they swept it right in front of me, but I don't think I was fully alongside, so maybe they thought they were entitled to that move. I get a good run up the hill, so that penalty is actually going to see me with a podium place. Was a little bit frustrating, as if they hadn't gone for that lunge in turn 1, I may have even been on for the victory, but it's still a positive result nevertheless after that very difficult 8th place in the first race. What a fantastic one. Let's hope for another like that. So on to our final race then at Lime Rock Park, where I'm starting in 3rd place. This one is going to be quite short and sweet, but man, there is some drama here. As we make our way down to turn 1, then it's always a game of survival. I've got to make sure not to wash out wide, go on the grass, or take my opponent out. And of course I've got to watch out behind me that nobody is doing the exact same thing to me. Luckily in this scenario, nothing does happen to me, and we are all away safely, so I am hunting down 1st and 2nd, but I do have 4th very, very close behind me indeed. So we'll skip ahead slightly further into the final chicane here, which can be quite tricky. And what do? Yep, I just run my left wheels off track, get a 0.7 second violation. If you look up at the top right hand corner of the screen, you will see that pretty much everybody who goes through there is getting varying degrees of severity of off tracks as well. So we start lap 2 on 1.4 behind Greece the One and Made in France, the Greece-France battle. I get a bit of a collision from behind, which is the one I was expecting on lap 1. I try and floor it to stay ahead, go on the grass a little bit, but keep it tight then and keep 3rd place. Now watch behind me in the mirror here. They completely overcook it and bang into the wall. So that is all the pressure from behind off. And now onto the end of lap 4, where I'm battling Made in France for 2nd position. Watch this fantastic battle, and also watch how many penalties everybody's got. The leader's got 2.5, Made in France has 0.8, and I've got 0.7. So this one's going to be settled by who gets the least penalties, quite probably. We make our way into turn 1. I keep it tight. Made in France stays committed round the outside. I stay tight again. They're on the outside again. It will become the inside. And that was fantastic. That battle may have only lasted a few corners, but extremely clean, extremely fair. I really enjoyed that one, even though I lost out. So we skip ahead. I'd stayed about 1 second behind both the guys in front. We come through the last chicane. I've still got my 0.7 second penalty, but notice the 3 second penalties for the guys ahead. I've just got to stay committed out of this corner, and I am gonna steal the victory. So they are tight for 1 and 2, but nope, the win goes to me. Sorry Greece and France, but that one's coming back to the UK. Everybody got a penalty. I got the least, and that is worth a win in my book. So if you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing, leave a like, leave a comment. I do respond to all your comments and they help the channel greatly. January was a fantastic month for the channel, so let's hope for a good February too, with the Nordschleifer on the way to Forza Motorsport for our enjoyment in the coming days. Take care, and I'll see you soon.